What's up, Carl? What's up, John? I issued a challenge to my dad last week. I handed him this Rich and Tone acrylic short barrel. And I said, "You think you can make that out of wood?" He did a pretty good job. This is Osage from Kansas. Pretty cool. First time he's ever built a duck call. Insert looks pretty good, but there's some tweaking that needs to be done to this section here, or there's something going on. We well, I don't have any reeds for it, Brendan. So I could take this part and put it in here. Probably deafen you. It's not terrible. But I don't have my like I said, I don't have my reeds. So I have to order some extra reeds to get it tooting. So pretty cool. Number one. I think you enjoyed doing it. Short reed goose call. That'd be interesting. I don't know how. I don't know how they even tune those things. Like if you told me to build a goose call, like I wouldn't even have a clue how that's done. Call craft. That would be a sweet name. That would be a sweet name. But I don't think I want to jump in the duck call game. I would have to have ducks to call at. Don't have those. But funny, when I first started duck hunting, we've got a ton of wood ducks down here, and I was at a gas station where I was hunting, and the gas station had a duck commander wood duck call, and I was pretty green in the duck calling and duck hunting game, but I grabbed this whatever duck commander wood duck call, and I took it to the house, or I got in the truck. That's where I used to do all my duck calling. Was I used to keep my duck call like in my center console, and I would just sit there, just drive down the road and just call and practice. And I opened up this duck commander call, and I was like, it sounded like a crow. I was like, this ain't a damn wood duck. This thing sounds like ass. I was like, this thing's terrible. So I kept dicking around with this wood duck call, and I couldn't ever get it to sound like anything. And so I got home, like back to Tuscaloosa, and I pulled up the old interwebs and looked up a YouTube video. No, I wasn't sucking on it, Brendan. So I got back to the house and got on the YouTubes, and I looked up like duck commander wood duck call. And back then, I think Phil, it was either Phil or Jace. I think it was Phil. It was Phil at church, and Phil had all his lanyards, and he was like going through all the calls of what like a duck sounds like. And he went through his like picker and whatever other ones that duck commander made. And he finally got to the wood duck call. He's like, this is our wood duck call, same one I had. And Phil rips on this damn wood duck call, and it sounds like there is a damn wood duck in church. Like I've never heard a more realistic sounding duck call, like wood duck call, in my life. And I was looking at that call, and I was like, oh, uh, well, it's certainly not the call. I think this one is definitely the caller. But if you would have handed me that and been like, here, this sounds just like a wood duck. Like to novice hands, it sounded like a crow, but to Phil Robertson, it sounded 100% like a wood duck. But I don't. I was talking to my dad after he built this. I wonder if those Duck Commander dudes are still like what their stake in the actual like hardcore duck hunter market is. Like I know back in their prime when they were like, you know, 2000s, mid 2000s, pre TV show, when they were like still on top of the like real duck hunters would actually use their shit. Um, I'd like to know because I don't know any duck hunters anymore, really, and I don't keep up with like the duck hunting world. So I don't know if Duck Commander is still like if people still seek out Duck Commander calls, or if the TV show ruined their legitimacy in like the real duck hunting world. Um, Fishing lures, dude, they have sold so much crap with Duck Commander stuck to it. Fin Commander, Buck Commander, any way they can do it. Uh, which they were smart, dude. They just flooded the earth, flooded the earth uh, with Duck Commander. Every kind of knickknack you could imagine, stuck Duck Commander on it, and just threw it in Walmart and printed damn money. Uh, so went through the same thing when I was earning a goose call, and I heard Tim Grounds pick up a call for the first time, and you realized it is the Indian, not the arrow. Or I think now you have to say it is the native, not the arrow. Don't like Bing Bong Jack, dude. I used to love that damn show, but great marketing people at Duck and Fin Commander. Yeah, I would say they probably have some of the best. I would say they have some of the best. I don't know that I don't know. It's to me it's sad because they were such a like they had such a like I think what made Duck Commander so cool was that they were like a monster company in well respected company like in the duck hunting world, and Phil and Jace and Cy, like all the guys that actually hunted, like back when Cy was sitting in the blind smoking cigarettes. Um, but they were such a well respected company, and now they're like mega celebrities, and like I feel like it's not. They kind of, I don't know. They kind of lost some of their because they're not relatable anymore. Like back then, they had plenty of money, but they were still relatable, right? Like because Phil still lived in his. I mean, Phil's still relatable. Phil's about the only one that's hung true, but the uh, the rest of them, it's not like a family business anymore. It may be like they may own it, but it's 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 a different animal. Uh, and I don't feel like I feel like you lose a little bit. Like before, when you bought a duck call with them, you knew it was like moving through, even if it wasn't. They made you feel like it was passing through Phil's like shack in the back. You know what I mean? Like, which I think they tuned them for years before the show. Probably, I don't know if they really did it like on the show. I'm sure they didn't, but uh, somebody was. Um, Phil never wanted to be that popular, but Willie took business classes at college and used the Duck Commander as a class project. I didn't know it was a class project. That's interesting. What's up, Nate? Um, uh, read every book Phil has written. How about that? I haven't read any book. I'd like to read a Phil book. I'm sure it's very insightful. Um, which kids? The Robertsons or their kids? Not yet, Nate. We were just talking about duck hunting and Duck Commander. Kyle, I know when Duck Commander was at its prime in the TV world, every Tom, Dick, and Harry picked up a shotgun and a dozen decoys and like went duck hunting. I don't know how they messed it up. Got in the way, probably plenty. Peppered people, probably plenty. But they probably didn't do any damage to the duck population. Uh, tell us, Bob. Um, they are inspiring. They are certainly a very cool family. But I don't know. Like I said, like I feel like if you would have walked in and met them before their TV celebrity, they would have they would have been different people. Now, now they're so famous. You got people like shooting at their house, and they're like, it's got to change you when you realize that there's like you're so popular that there's like crazy people out there, and you can't trust anybody. So like your guards up at all times. Um, Nate, I don't know. I don't have any reads. I got to get some reads and work on the fitment. Um, so, John, I used to have their VHS tapes and their DVDs. Like their duck hunting videos were incredible, dude. I'm sure most of y'all have probably seen one or two of them, but I could watch old Duck Commander movies like Bassmasters. Um, they are they never get old, and the way they filmed them was really good. I was trying to watch. Who was I watching duck hunting? Was it a Duck Commander one? I was watching some video recently, and it was terrible. Like the birds flying, like everything was out of focus, and like the camera couldn't keep up to the speed of the camera moving and the birds and stuff, and it was just like really blurry and it was bad. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, hell, I feel like the videos from like 2000 were better than this. Um, the original Duck Commander tapes were shot on a VHS home recorder. Yeah, the deer roll is probably their most famous. Uh, But I feel like their original Duck Commander videos were what really got people. Like if you saw one of those and you didn't like duck hunting, you'd like get done watching that video and be like, I might shop for some waders tonight. Like I think that those Duck Commander videos like really move the damn needle. Um, but and they all had great names, Fistful of Ducks, like all the kind of great names. Uh, yeah, that's the other thing is shots. Those guys didn't let a whole lot fly out of the damn decoys, and if they did, it was by choice. Especially Phil. If that dude pulled his piece out, something was hitting the feathers were gonna fly. Duck Commander is Phil's original brand of his duck calls and duck hunting paraphernalia um, that he started, and then that the rest of the family eventually took over. And what the Duck Dynasty show was pretty much about was them running that business. Um, so Phil actually had a patent on the what did he have a patent on the double reed duck call? But he had a couple duck call patents. I think that's where his money came from. Um, Bob, duck hunting's a blast. Duck hunting is a blast. I've always loved it because it was kind of you're in the water. You don't have to like. It's not as like you can kind of move around. You can talk. You know what I mean? Like you can do stuff. You don't have to like sit there like a statue. Justin Martin is the original maker of Fin Commander. They had hunting down to a science, but they wanted to get more overall with the Fin Commander series. Yeah, if you were good at duck hunt, you'd probably be on NES. You'd probably be great. Or did you put the gun in the corner of the screen and go where it was like the glitch and it would shoot them wherever? Stop deer hunting after going duck hunting one time. There you go. There you go. What kind of calls did you first have, Nate? My first call was a Haydell's Red Leg, and that thing was awesome. Still to this day, my favorite call. Like this is a Rich and Tone short barrel from like 2006. Great call, but my Haydell's original Red Leg was my favorite sound. Um, this is a little overkill for what I do. I don't need. This is a timber call, um, and it's a good sounding call, but I just wanted a fancy call just for to say I had a fancy call. Um, just because Rich and Tone was famous at the time, and I wanted a piece of the pie. They're nice calls, though. Duck hunting is for the birds. You don't. AJ, you probably got a ton of ducks in Nebraska. Uh, Phil has patented on the way he made his reeds. Huh, there you go. Started with Primos Winch and the Primos Honky Tonk. I've never called for geese. I own a goose call. I don't know where it is. But I never knew what to do with it. Duck Commander ruined refuge hunting. I could see that. Like walk-in hunting or out of a boat, like public land. HS Slammer Goose Call. You still got it, John? You still use it? Yeah, that was the thing about those Haydell's calls, dude. Like, you could like You could have half a can of Copenhagen in your mouth and like not spit for an hour, and then like a duck show up, and you could like blow all that spit through the damn hay bales, and it would still blow fine. Like those things were bulletproof. Drop it in the mud, pick it up. They were great. Um, Sadie's net worth 3.5 million. That's a pretty good chunk of change for a young lady. Like an MS Slammer, but for ducks. It died in the river one day. Well, that's a good place to go. That's a good place to go. Serve your remaining days as a goose call at the bottom of the river. Cold water, cold and water. Man, I used to love it. The problem that kept me out of duck hunting was lack of ducks. I used to work my ass off to go shoot ducks, and we didn't have any ducks. And I didn't realize what, like, guys used to always tell me, they're like, oh, I just hadn't got cold enough. You hadn't got cold enough. Well, the thing about it is, we're not in the flyway anyway. So even if the whole earth freezes, like, we're still not going to get that many ducks. Not like you would have seen on like Duck Commander. Um, and and I realized that when I went to other parts of the country, more west, when you see what real what a real migration of birds looks like, yeah, we don't have that. Um, oh, that's what drew me to wood duck hunting, Nate, is because those the woodies would act like mallards. Like, it was the closest thing that I had to living in a Duck Commander video. But the problem is you can only shoot two. And we have a ton of wood ducks, but two isn't very many. So, I mean, if you think about it, this is where the rub came, where you would wake up at like 4 in the morning, go wherever you're going to hunt, walk in, get set up, get in the boat, go somewhere. We had flooded gum trees behind our house, our camp up there on the river, and we would just walk back behind the house down the road a little bit and go walk out in the flooded gum trees and hunt. And so I didn't have to go far, but you do that. You wade through that shit. You fall in a beaver run. You fill your waders up halfway with water. It's cold. Uh, it starts cracking. You give a little toot on the woody call. Two woodies come in, or 5 or 10 or whatever, and you shoot a couple times, and it's over. And you go back home, pick your ducks, and it's over. Uh, but eventually, it just got to be a lot of work for two wood ducks. Uh, Southie Georgia kayak bass fishing. Good talking to you. Come back in, tell us some more Duck Commander stuff. Um, More specs every year. They're unlimited, aren't they, Nate? Can't you shoot as many of those as you want? No, that's not bad, Bob. As long as you're out of the way. Won't go duck hunting unless I'm getting invited somewhere really good. That's probably smart. Um, I got popped for $350 in fine the first time I went duck hunting. What'd you do? You only get to shoot two. I thought they opened. I thought they opened the speckle belly up to like unlimited because they were like overpopulating everywhere. Maybe that was just in Arkansas. Uh, oh, the snows. Uh, y'all blast those? Are they still a nuisance? Snow geese. That's what it is. Can you? Does snow geese taste good? The problem with fishing around boat launches, Bob, is most of them down here say no fishing on them. They don't want you to fish around the piers, but they have little access areas. I don't think you can get on a boat launch dock and fish. I think you just have to like stand in the grass. Uh, uh, Went snow geese hunting for the first time this year and didn't get to shoulder the gun. They said we're a week late. Huh. I didn't have one of the stamps. Had four of the five things I needed. Confiscated four ducks. That's pretty dick. I guess it's a federal bird, so they get real bitchy about it. Um, that's what I was thinking. Like usually snows are everywhere, like all the time. Uh, I have buddies that split 15K blinds between 7 people, and they spent ungodly money on full body deeks. Yeah, that probably hurt the 17-year-old wallet, AJ. Um, there you go, Bob. Smart move. Um, yeah, I don't know what the face of duck hunting looks like in 2023 compared to 2005. The last time I was like hardcore duck hunter. Didn't ticket the adult I was with that didn't have a plug. This seems kind of fishy, AJ. This seems kind of fishy. The most expensive pit I've been in was 10K, running about 1,500 full body decoys. Painted long hair and Sitka jackets. Oh, that's pretty funny. The carp of the sky. Is that what a snow goose is? Found out later you just had it out for the kids. I would have told him I was 12, even if you were 6'3" then. Brendan, Uh, I have been asked before if I ever have, but I've never had anybody actually send me a decoy to paint. Um, I don't know. I didn't know people had decoys painted. AJ, how do they argue with it though? Or if you tell them you're like 14, 14 would have been believable. Uh, but even at 17, you were still a minor technically, weren't you? Like, can you ticket a minor? Shouldn't the parents be ticketed? Or would it be less than 16? It would probably be fun to paint a decoy. Um, yeah, I don't know what I don't know what people green jeans ain't always fair. Green jeans are typically pricks. Did I tell you about my buddy that got arrested on my boat? A year later to the date, which is pretty funny. I think I did tell you that story. We were on spring break in college, and we were up there fishing. And we got pulled over, and they checked for licenses. And he said, "I've got a lifetime license." And they're like, "Where is it?" And he's like, "I don't know." He didn't have it, so they wrote him a ticket. And they said, "Hey, all you got to do is take this ticket to the Camden courthouse anytime before your court date and show them provide proof of your lifetime license. They'll rip it up." Dude didn't do it. Didn't go to court. Didn't provide proof of his license. Just let it slide. I think the story was his dad said he took care of it. But anyway, the next year at spring break, we go fishing, same place. And we're fishing down the river, and Green Jeans pulls up. Bench warrant. And the cop, or the Green Jeans, looks at us and sees the dude in the back of my boat, and he says, "Hey, I recognize you." I was like, "No way." He was like, "Hold on a second. Let me see your license." Pulls the dude's damn license, runs it, calls it in or whatever. He's like, "How about that?" I said, "What?" He said, "You've got a warrant for your arrest." I said, "Oh, shit." And he says, "Well, you got to come with me. Put your shit down." I'm like, where is going with you? What does that actually mean? He's like, "Oh, we're going to Camden jail." So, have fun, bro. He's like, "You gonna come get me?" It's like, "I don't have any money. How am I gonna get you out?" So you better call your mom or some shit. And so yeah, they took that son of a bitch to jail, and he like spent the night in Camden jail. If you know anything about Camden, Alabama, you probably don't want to go to jail there. Uh, so yeah, I think he spent the night down there, and then his mom or something came and got him, and it was pretty hilarious actually, because I had some other buddies that were up there, and they're like, "Where's Joey?" I was like, "Oh, he's in jail." And they're like, "For what?" And I was like, "He had a warrant out from not having a fishing license last year on spring break," and so that was good. That was good times. I feel bad when I have to cuff people for a bench warrant. 90% of the people have no clue. Yeah, I mean, this is like I said, this is like a dipshit, like 20-year-old kid. Like, did is it really worth the time and effort to like take this? I guess in a small town like that, they're gonna get any money they can. So why not? It's probably a boring day at the office. Might as well take this kid down, make an example out of him. Not that it mattered. And the thing about it is, we weren't like drinking or like being mischievous. We were literally on spring break bass fishing. Like, there's a lot worse shit we could have been doing. And to get taken to jail on spring break, on college spring break for bass fishing was pretty embarrassing. Uh, yeah, I would have probably let the kid go. I mean, maybe not. Who knows? But I had this other guy. His name was I don't know if I should say his name. We'll just call him McNeil. And for whatever reason, he had a like chub for like bringing me down. And when I was in college, like he always like messed with me, and he was a total prick. Like I would be fishing on the river, and he would come and like check my throwable, check my, my fire extinguisher, check my life jacket, check my kill switch, check all my shit. And I always had it because I fished so much, like I knew what to have, and like my shit never changed. You know what I mean? Like it was always in the boat, always had my license. Like it was pretty easy. And the dude, like say he saw me on like a Friday afternoon, he'd come over and check me. On Saturday, I'd be out there fishing again, and he'd come up and he'd be like, "Hey, just want to check your live wells." I was like, "All right." And he'd look at him. He's like, "You got your throwable?" I'm like, "Dude, you checked all this shit yesterday." I was like, "There's literally like this isn't a busy river. Like the stretch of the Alabama River that my camp's on is not busy. Especially it wasn't then. So if you drove up the river from the dam and you went 20 miles, you might see 5 boats. Might. So I know it's not like he's like ping ponging between boats, um, and can't remember who he checked. Like I was probably one of less than 10 boats he checked, and literally less than 24 hours. And he would come up and like check me again, and he always was just like trying to like see if I would forget something. You know what I mean? Like I would, if I would just happen to go out that day without my like kill switch or like my life jacket or something. And finally, he got me. I left my wallet at home and I didn't have my fishing license. And he had probably checked me like 10 other times, like over the course of this summer. And he was like, "Hey, you got your fishing license?" And I was like, I reached back to get my wallet. And I was like, "It's at the camp." And he was like, "What?" I said, "It's at my camp." He's like, "Where's your camp at?" I said, "Right over there." I said, "You'll follow me over there and I'll go grab it?" He said, "Yeah, let's do that." Because he thought I was full of shit. And I said, "Come on, just follow me." So it's pretty. This is actually the last time that he dicked with me. So if you go to my camp off the river, there's a canal, and then it opens up into this giant like 2 foot flat, and there's high spots all on the flat. There's no channel, but there's just deeper spots that aren't an inch deep. So uh, I come through the channel, and then I make a turn, and I'm like on the flat, and like the camp's in the back. So I'm like running through this flat, and I'm like zigging around and going through like this little where I'm supposed to go, and I'm kind of losing him. Like I'm going like fast intentionally, and he's trying to keep up. So in him trying to keep up with me, he thinks he's going to be a wise guy and cut a corner. Well, when he does, he beaches his boat, and I pull up at the house, and I hook the boat up to the dock, and I get out on the dock. And, what happened? And he's like sitting there trying to back his boat off this damn mud bar. And he dicks around for about 10 minutes out there trying to get his boat off. And he's got the paddle out, and he's like pushing. And uh, he finally gets off, and he comes back up to the dock. And I'm sitting there with my fishing license. And like it's a sandbar out there. And he said, "I see that." So here's my fishing license. And he checked it. He's like, "Have a good one." and literally never saw the dude ever again. Um, Game Warden used to be your neighbor. Hated writing tickets, so let me go back. Uh, uh, yeah, that was always. I never understood that about the throwable. Like I can't throw it to myself, bro. If I'm in the water, doesn't matter. Um, Game Warden here used to be my neighbor. He hated writing tickets, so he knew where I'd be fishing. Just show up and BS, and like he was checking me. I don't know if you still have to have a physical license or not. I don't think you do because I've shown the last couple game wardens my phone and that was okay. Uh, Hold on, Tyler's got to go on. With the Coast Guard tied to their boat for almost 3 hours, they drug me for miles through rough water, ripped my rogue rails out of my passport. For what? I was finally convinced. Finally convinced them to meet me at the ramp. Sat there for almost an hour and they never showed up. Every time I get stopped by the warden when I'm trout fishing, they always want to know why I caught them on because they really have some trout on me. Yes, that's usually my question. It's like, did y'all catch? Did y'all have y'all stopped anybody today with any like big ones? One warden for every 3 counties. It's not very much. Uh, yeah, that's. I think that's the big deal now. Is like they don't even. If you say if you tell them you're gonna like pull it up on your phone, they usually just be like, "What's your social?" and then they just look it up. Um, I think, which is really nice. Um, uh, but I was kind of bad back in the day about not renewing my license, but because they changed it. It used to be for the longest time if you bought your fishing license on September 13th, it expired on September 13th the next year. And then somebody got smart and decided that on August 23rd or something, all licenses would expire. So if you bought it on August 22nd, you would need to buy a new one August 24th. And like when they started that shit, like nobody had licenses for years. Like everybody was like, "What are you talking about?" Um, but ours is in August. Is the redo date. And I used to always buy mine like around my birthday, and it just made it easy. Uh, Convince themselves it could be a stolen boat. I got pulled over by a state trooper when I was in college, and he was like a real prick. He was like, "I need your insurance and your driver's license." I was like, "All right." And he said, "You need to stay right here." I said, "All right, what's up?" He's like, "I'm suspect that this vehicle might be stolen." I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I talked to him, and he came back. And I was like, "Why do you suspect this uh, might be stolen?" And he said, "Because this vehicle is registered to a Thomas Stanley." I said, "Okay." He's like, "Your driver's license says TK Stanley." And for whatever reason, like the driver's license people at that time let me put TK on my driver's license, and it said TK Stanley. It's like, so you think I stole this vehicle from somebody that shares my name? They were like, he was like, potentially, I'm trying to figure that out. I was like, well, Thomas K. Stanley Sr. would be my father. I am Thomas K. Stanley Jr. So the vehicle is under his name. My driver's license is under my name that we all share. So it's not stolen. Like, how do you steal something from yourself or your family? Like, why would you suspect this to be? Why would you suspect me from stealing this car from my father? And anyway, dude, I was trying to go fishing. Like, I was leaving school and I was trying to drive to the Alabama River after school on a Friday, probably driving excessively fast. I think I was doing 80 and a 65, which wasn't excessive, but it was, for state troopers in Alabama, and need something to do. But dude, I sat there for like 30 minutes while this dude tried to figure out why my truck was registered to a Thomas Stanley when a Thomas Stanley is driving it. Freaking idiots. Brennan, you're an old soul anyway. That doesn't surprise me. That's good though. I'm the guy that is overly nice when pulled over, and by the end of this fiasco was definitely not being nice. Yeah, I try to be pleasant, because a lot of these guys, they're just doing their job and they're nice guys, and there's no need to be a prick to them, unless you're a prick, and then I kind of zigzag around and help you run your boat on a sandbar, and I just be I'll just be a prick in other ways. Brennan's going to get pulled over for driving too slow. Get a reckless driving ticket for doing 45 on the interstate. Son, do you know why I pulled you over? No, because you need to speed up. Yeah, I'm with you, Tyler. At some point, you gotta just let me go. I'm good, bro. Leave me alone. What's up, Dave? Um, Brendan, I see it all the time, dude. Like, I think I mean, driving slow on the interstate is just as dangerous as driving fast, especially when you have 3 lanes of traffic that are doing 70 at least miles an hour, and then you've got somebody like in the middle lane doing 45. Like, it's probably more safe to drive faster. Um, it says 70, I go 65. Uh, if someone is a prick to me when I pull them over, I'll waste my time to write the ticket. There you go. That's good advice. Morgan Freeman in the fast lane. Oh, that is funny. That is funny. Yeah, I don't know. Most guys are nice. I had a cop get out one time and tell me I was 16 and I rolled through a stop sign, and he pulled me over, and he came up to the truck and he was like, "What's your damn problem?" I was like, "What are you talking about, dude?" And my buddies were with me. And he's like, "I see that stop sign back there?" I'm like, "Yeah, stopped at it." He's like, "That was stop." And I was like, And I kind of stopped at it. I stopped there like there wasn't any. There's no cars. Like he's like, doesn't matter. I was like, okay. And he's like, you need me to teach you how to drive that thing? And I was like, nah, bro, I'm good. And he's like, oh, you're fucking good. I was like, yeah, I'm good. And my buddy was like, dude, shut up. And I was like, he's being a dick, dude. Like, I literally, it's not like I was like doing donuts in somebody's yard or like doing 100. Like, I rolled through a stop sign where there was no traffic. Like, I certainly don't need driving lessons. But I think he wrote me a. The good thing about my old truck was it had oversized tires on it, and anytime I would get pulled over for speeding, I would always say, uh, "Yeah, I got to get my I just got these tires put on, and I need to have my speedometer recalibrated. It's all dicked up. I don't know how fast I'm going." He's like, "Well, you're going a little fast." It's like, "Okay, well, I didn't know that. Sorry, dude. Speedometer getting recalibrated. They got me out of so many damn tickets." I get pissed about states that only have a 70-mile-per-hour speed limit on the interstate. Yeah, Texas was like the Audubon. You could do whatever you wanted to. Hell, I feel like you can do whatever you want to on any interstate. I don't ever see state troopers like I used to. Never worked in mass. Um, Kyle, did I tell you about the time that me and Amy were driving back to Austin, and we were going across the Basin Bridge, and she had a blowout. I was driving, and we had like packed up for like I don't know, it was like Christmas or something, dude. Like the whole back of the car, like the trunk was like full of shit. And I I started feeling the tire like about to go. And Tyler, you know what I'm talking about. You've been across it. So I'm going across the Basin Bridge headed towards Texas, and I feel this tire going one 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 one. You can like start feeling it starting to shake, and I was like, no, 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 no. About that time, pow, ma, 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 ma. And he's like, what is that? I was like, we got a flat tire. And she was like, really? I was like, oh yeah. And she was like, that's not good. I was like, no, it's not good because we have a lot of shit in that tire. Dude, I said, hang tight. I'll be right back. So, there's no room on the shoulder. And I was on the right hand side. And like, you could barely open your door without a damn 18 wheeler knocking it off. So I like watched traffic and finally uh, got a little open spot and I hopped out. Dude, I ripped that shit out of the back of the car and changed that tire in like 7 minutes. It was record breaking. Like by the time I got back in the car, she was like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, we're done. And she's like, you got all the shit out of the back of the car and got that tire changed in that quick? I was like, yeah, you go stand out there on the fucking road and see how quick you can do it. And she's like, yeah, it's kind of scary. I was like, yeah. Um, so I think that was my fastest tire changing I've ever done was on that Basin Bridge. It was sketch, dude. It was bad, but it was quick. Uh, the Basin is now timed. If you make it over it before 17 minutes, how fast do you have to be going to make it in the 17-minute time frame? $60. Well, That's pretty lame, especially at night. Does it check at night? Oh yeah, you want to see these? Here's your matching pair. These are for the campers, Brendan. Hopefully we get to stream on Thursday with John Pryor. I keep telling him I want to try to talk to him. He's like, I'll call you after lunch. So, yeah, those are gonna be good. Those are gonna be good. They're sexy little numbers. They got a lot of flash on them you can't see, but got a little white lateral line, bone shoulders. A lot of color going on that you can't see, but when you see them in person, you'll say, these are the titties. Bob, it's not a drop. That's for the Patreon, the campers. Those are going to be given away. How many people have been hitting you up for Spro Chad repaints? I got a bunch when they first came out. Like the first time they dropped, I got quite a few of them. People aren't hitting me up to paint them. People are hitting me up to know if I have them. Random giveaway. Random name generator. There's a deep one and there's a shallow one. I will be dropping some of these though. And that's as close as it's going to get. It's the scales, Brendan. But oh, I reached out to somebody a couple days ago. Hadn't heard from them since 2017. Messaged them and asked them if they would like to be part of a stream, and they told me they'd pass because they're not good with words. So you don't have to be good with words. We're just talking fishing. And I planted the seed, and I sent a response email, and I said, "Well, I wish you'd reconsider." I said, "But like I said, I'm no, I'm no public speaker myself." I said, "So don't think you're Tom Brokaw's going to be interviewing you. Just a fishing dude." And he said, "I'll think about it." I said, "Well, that's better than the previous no. So we'll see if I can do some convincing." But it's an old friend of mine that some of you may know. Any guesses? He's from Oklahoma. 70 years old, retired. Yeah, that's the thing, Brendan. I don't think anybody's like great with words. 4 boxes. Not Jimmy Houston, no. Way less known. Way less known. Not Kenyon Hill, Hella. I'll tell you. Lynn Dollar from YouTube Bass Fishing Bassmaster and FLW video collection fame. I really wanted to talk to him. He said he wasn't a talker. Uh, so I've never the part of the reason why I wanted to get Lynn on, because I have no clue what he looks like. I have no clue what he sounds like. I know nothing about the guy, but I've shared like an insane amount of emails back and forth with him. But I don't know anything about the guy. Like I know he's retired. I know he's got a skeeter. I know he doesn't fish like as hardly anymore, or even back then he didn't. Now that he's retired, he said he doesn't even have the motivation to go. But he can't sell his boat because then it'll be like the nail in the casket. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna keep trying and see if I can butter him up. But he doesn't think he has like he's very humble, and he doesn't think I think OT's a I always heard OT was a prick, hella, so I wouldn't reach out to OT. Um, but Nate, I thought it would be cool to get like the man behind, and I tried to tell him, I was like, listen, dude, you've brought a lot of joy to a lot of people's lives. And he's like, no, I didn't. I just recorded a bunch of Bassmasters. He said, it's the people in the videos that bring joy. I'm like, no, because if we were waiting on Bassmaster or MLF to post them, we'd never see them again. So that's not true. I said you're providing something uh, that's uh, you know pretty pretty special. Um, uh, Byron, Jimmy, go get the box of stuff. All right, hold on. I think it's in my truck still. I'll be right back, y'all. All right. Exactly, AJ. I think he's a lot. He's done a lot more than he thinks. See, AJ. Like I think he's brought a lot more joy to a lot more people than he thinks he did. Even though he's not in the video, he provided them that would have potentially uh, he collected a all right, here's our oddity number one. Something with a bunch of twist, Bob. We're gonna see what this thing does. The banana. We got a little spin tail long torpedo. See what that thing does. Burnsy's got a new wake. This little fat medium diver. Uh, it's a little spook, 3-hook spook thing. There's another spinner. Another spinner. Very freely. What is this thing, Burnsy? It looks kind of SB1-ish, but short lip. I haven't thrown the short one yet. Burns has got the big one. I sent it back to him. Oh, I don't even know if we should show this, Burns. We'll show these first. Burns got real crafty. Walking frog. He even contoured the head like a frog. Or a rat or something. Could be a rodent, could be a frog, could be a mouse. Mouse would be a cool paint job. I might have to mouse this one. But that's a pretty cool little bait. Then we have another one. We'll try. We could do a frog and a mouse. And then we've got the waddle mouse. I think this is going to be the one, Burns. Can't wait to see what it does. Burns has been busy. You have to chipmunk the waddle. You want this one chipmunked? I can do that. So Marty is the actual mole. It won't hit. It makes noise, but it won't hit the bait. I could make it. Blade spins freely. So, and last but not least, the 3-hook Dreamwalker in all of its beautiful glory. So here's the other Dreamwalker. Now with added hook hanger. If you'll miss those, you missed the Mistake Gold Chrome foil. I was feeling froggy and did these many moons ago. This was inspired by the Fade Blade. One gold side, one silver side. Fighting for the 3. Yeah, this is the one I know is gonna work. So this one is a pretty definitive working prototype. I have I'm quite certain of. JP, I don't think it will. It shouldn't. It's not. I mean, a hook and a ring will change things, but I don't think in this. I think it's floaty enough that it shouldn't. We'll see though. We'll see. I will give it a. I we'll still give it a fair shake to make sure it has its same beautiful sashaying action. I don't. I'm hoping none. In theory, uh, hoping none. Because you're sliding the other hanger back towards the weight, so that'll distribute that weight a little bit, and I think it should be fine. And I think Burns maybe Burns hooked it and he put it, he tested it like that and he said it floated right. So that should be all that matters. If it floats the same, it should dance the same. But we will find out shortly. We will find out shortly. I got to go clear coat some of these baits, and I don't know, Brian. Just lucky. Just lucky. Just annoyed him for a decade. JP, I'm not a. We're clear coding the giveaways for the Patreon and 5 DT6s. Later, Big Malone. JP, I really don't like feathered trebles. On big baits, I think they're okay. Like a super spook, if you are like maybe a vixen's big enough, but anything smaller than that, I'm not a fan of it. Like if you put a feathered treble on an image, it kills it. It will completely destroy it. The action. So I think if you do, you need to tie your own, and it needs to be like half a feather and like one piece of like mylar or flash boo or whatever. Yeah, it'll. I don't know. I don't like them. But the only thing that sticks out in my brain is that tournament that Mark Davis won. I think that was on like Ouachita, and he had this. There was this dude that came up there and was like blowing everybody away, and he got up on stage the first day and was like, "Yeah, I caught him on a top water," and he said the biggest thing was like chicken feathers on the tail hook, and literally everybody heard him say that, went and got feathered treble hooks and put them on their baits, and like proceeded to stomp his ass in the rest of the tournament. So if he wouldn't have said anything, he would have probably won that tournament. But because he told everybody, they went out and put feathers on their hooks, and it like made a big difference. And like everybody said that their like their bites went up like exponentially after adding the feathers to the treble. And he opened his dumb mouth. Stearman, the Dreamwalker, see any adverse action, or does it still do okay? The neighbor lady's cat hair works way better than a feather. The cat must be scratching at your window. Problem with the P70 JP is I don't know that there's a better big topwater. It's just availability. Rio Rico you can actually buy. And the new P70s are trash. or whatever they came out with. They had some name for them. Bob, it's funny you mentioned that. I would agree, Marky. There's days it turns smallies from slashers to biters. Travis, do you ever use like chartreuse feathers or any like really bright feathers? I've never thrown the Rio Rico, but I have thrown a P70. And the thing about a P70 is the P70 never made me want to search out another popar of that size. So for whatever that's worth, um, P71s. Bob, it's funny you say that. I was looking at Swimbait Universe this morning, and there was all these guys posting up. There's been a lot of posts lately about like post your swimbait collection, and all these guys have like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of swim baits in their pictures. And it's funny because you look at them and there's nothing older than like 2 years. Like it's all stuff that has popped up and gained popularity in the last couple of years. And I just find that that's just interesting to me. Most of these guys, you see all their shit, and it's like no builder from over 5 years ago's baits ever pop up. Uh, Red and yellow. You see a difference? You have a preference, or do you have a set of conditions where you say, "I bet this yellow would be a good feather"? No rash. Yeah, I think it's the natural movement more than the color. Possibly, possibly. Uh, yeah, man, it probably does look like a tail. And there used to be, where's that bait? I don't know where it went. Bob, you'll get to it. You'll get to it. And maybe you'll find out that you like some better than the others, and then you at least have peace of mind. Uh, the hula popper is old school. Brendan likes his baits like they're white with midge flash or mylar most of the time. Brendan's gonna go out there with his cup of coffee, get out there as the sun's going down, and throw his Lucky 13 on his Fluger President in his pistol grip. What a beautiful evening. What a beautiful evening. Come on, you pesky bass. Oh, there's. Oh. Put them on the front hook. Yeah, I remember when you posted your pictures of some of those bone baits. I thought you put some feathered trebles on the front. It looks good. I will say. That looked sexy. I am a big fan of I'm a big fan of double feathered treble hooks on like big baits and anything. Like apart from like dicking up the action, I think it looks cool. I'll do an ASMR play by play. Don't throw it. You're probably not missing out too much, JP. Bob, you're living on the edge. Throw that damn loop knot. Not for me. I don't trust them. The loop knot is like a fart. Can't be trusted. I think that's what I think that Burns. I think that's what Travis put it on. He had a feathered treble on the front of one of his wakes. Yeah, if I had some 30-pound big game, I'd probably trust a loop knot. Need help, Bob? No. Okay. Time is 12:30. All right, let me go clear cut these baits. I'll talk to you gentlemen in a little while. Be good. I'll keep you posted if I can get JP on Thursday. If not, I'll still do a stream on Thursday. It just won't be with Pryor. So I have to dig something else up. I have to go recruit Eric. But anyway, y'all be good. See you next time.